In today's clip, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang lays out NVIDIA's thesis. AI is an intelligence manufacturing industry. Check this out.
Count on me.
Lisa were here. I think she said the MI450 is every bit equal to yours. And I would say I want to hear it from Jensen because that's a chip. You're a platform and you're software. You're loaded with software. And so therefore, a piece of hardware may not be equal to it for total cost of ownership.
We do very different. We build some things that are similar in category, but we're very different companies. You know, NVIDIA started out as a graphics chip company, and over time we became a computing platform company. And a computing platform company is largely software, and you have a lot of developers and ecosystem that create other software that sits on top of your computer. We became a computer platform company. When artificial intelligence came along, we realized that artificial intelligence are really large computers, and the entire data center is essentially one computer. And so we went off to work on distributed computing, using multiple computers working together into one giant system. So networking matters, switching matters, tons of software is involved. And so today, when you look at the computers we make, they're 1,000 acres large. It's a giant system, hundreds of megawatts, gigawatts at a time. And that's the reason why a new industry has emerged. This industry requires factories that manufacture numbers, which when reformulated becomes intelligence. And so it's an intelligence manufacturing factory. And that's this new industry produces the most valuable thing the world's ever known, intelligence. And so our company builds these large infrastructures, and it's got lots of technology inside. The GPU, which we invented in 1996, I think it is one of the technologies inside, but there's a whole bunch of technologies, and so we're
different.
Yeah, we're different.
Let me ask you a question about the recent deal that you made with Intel. Now, I know Intel I knew Andy Grove, and a person on the board who suggested that they do make a deal with a company that sounded a lot like you during the period when I know you were speaking to Andy, and Andy was quite disrespectful, but that was his way. He just was his way. It's not the way. It's the way that he had set himself up. Frankly,
Intel dedicated 33 years of our lives trying to kill us.
Right. And then a man whom I heard you make a testimony.
That was actually a mission.
But that's absolutely true. From my point of view, from a board member who said, "Listen, we have to destroy these guys." However,
not dead yet.
A new man, Lip Bhutan, comes in. I heard you give a testimonial to him in the 2022 Noise Awards that was gracious, and it made me think, wow, there could be not only just a détente, but maybe one day they'll be talking to each other. This is an important deal for you, isn't it?
We're lovers, not fighters. And it is true. It's true that if you have an imagination about the future, it is possible to bring other people along. And I always like it. When we give a keynote, everybody's stock price goes up. When somebody else gives a keynote, our stock price goes down. Yes. And so it says that the way we see the world, the way we see the future is inclusive for other people, and we create opportunities that brings other people along. Our partnership with Intel is because I can imagine a future for the both of us where we could both win and not one of us have to win, the other one to lose. And this partnership brings them into our ecosystem, and so they're going to build a custom microprocessor for us. We're going to also build a custom microprocessor for a new market, and so there are two new products that comes along from this partnership, and also we invested $5 billion in them, which is no small amount. Now I'm an Intel shareholder.
Why not? I mean, you're a big shareholder.
And ever since I invested, it went up something like 50% or something.
Well, I mean, we don't have an open AI valuation, but I think that there were a lot of people who question that they were trying to figure out whether there's some sort of circular nonsense, but obviously clearly from events not. But what bothered me is that people don't realize how good an investor you are. I actually have a friend who made a pitch in front of you, and they didn't expect to see you. They expected to see minions, but you were there and you drilled them for 3 hours of questions. You make these investments, don't you?
Well, for us, we make good investments, and the reason for that is because, well, first of all, we're smart, but the reason why we invest is because we imagine building something together. And so when we wanted to create a new type of cloud, we invested in a small company called CoreWeave, and then we helped them build themselves into a company, and they went public, and we made a fortune, and that was fantastic. It was great for them. It was great for us. Now we're going to invest in OpenAI,
right.
Potentially invest in OpenAI. It's a great privilege, and I'm very grateful that they invited us to invest. But the partnership of OpenAI is it's incremental to all of the work that we are doing with Azure and OCI and CoreWeave.
Thank you.
And so we're going to build up a whole bunch of capacity for computing for them because AI needs a lot of compute. This is a partnership that for the first time, OpenAI is going to buy directly from us. Usually a cloud service provider buys from us, and they rent from a cloud service provider. And so now it's going to be a direct partnership. We're going to help them build an AI infrastructure that they operate themselves, and really set them up for 5 years out when they're going to operate their own cloud anyhow. And so it's a great partnership.
Do you think we're all waiting for trade talks, or have you gotten less optimistic than you were last time I talked to you that there'll be something that allows, let's say, commerce with us in China?
Well, first of all, if there are any investors, all of our guidance assumes China zero. And so if anything works out with China, it will be a bonus for us. And now China is a very large market. It's a very important market. But let's take a step back. I think the policymakers want a great outcome for America. And they want America to win. The policymakers, President Trump wants America to win the AI race. This is an important technology period, and AI is going to be foundational and transformative to every single country. And President Trump wants America to win the AI race.
There are a few great nuggets in there from Jensen Huang. I want to break down one of them with you now. AI data centers represent an entirely new industry that produces intelligence as a commodity. Jensen introduces a radical new framework. A new industry has emerged. This industry requires factories that manufacture numbers, which, when reformulated, become intelligence. It's an intelligence manufacturing factory. This new industry produces the most valuable thing the world has ever known: intelligence. Jensen describes these factories as systems that are 1,000 acres large, hundreds of megawatts, gigawatts at a time, and positions the entire data center as essentially one computer. For me, this is a paradigm shift in how we should think about AI infrastructure investing, and it explains why the spending isn't slowing down despite bear concerns. Jensen is reframing AI data centers not as technology infrastructure, but as a manufacturing facility for the most valuable commodity in human history. Think about what this means. Traditional factories manufacture physical goods, cars, semiconductors, steel. These have material costs, physical constraints, and demand limitations. But an intelligence factory manufactures something that has near zero marginal cost to reproduce, infinite potential applications, and insatiable demand. Once built, an intelligence factory can produce AI models that generate trillions in economic value. When Jensen says these factories are 1,000 acres large and consume gigawatts of power, he's describing industrial scale operations comparable to steel mills or oil refineries, not technological products. This is a heavy industry, not just software. The investment thesis becomes completely different when you view it through this lens. Traditional cloud data centers are cost centers that companies minimize. You build just enough capacity to serve current demand. But intelligence factories are profit centers that generate compounding returns. The more intelligence you manufacture, the more valuable your AI models become, the more consumers pay for access, the more capital you have to expand manufacturing capacity. It's a flywheel. The factories that manufacture numbers which become intelligence, that framing is profound because it positions AI as industrial production, not R&D spending. When companies spend $100 billion on AI infrastructure, they're not burning cash on R&D. They're building factories that will produce revenue-generating intelligence potentially for decades. The scarcity economics are also critical. Intelligence manufacturing requires specialist equipment, NVIDIA GPUs, enormous power, massive capital, and rare expertise to operate. This creates natural monopolies. Only a handful of companies can afford to build these factories at scale. Those companies, Microsoft, Google, Meta, xAI, OpenAI, become the intelligence suppliers to the world. Everyone else rents from them. This, in my opinion, validates the massive infrastructure spending we're seeing. If you're building a factory to manufacture the world's most valuable commodity, and that factory will operate for years to come generating returns, spending the money isn't necessarily crazy. It's rational industrial investment. If you found this video of any value, why not consider hitting subscribe? Cheers.